This first step in making the most perfect, beautiful pulled pork is actually brining your pork butt. I buy a bone-in shoulder butt with a good fat layer on the top, and I'm going to brine it for about 3 days, and then it's going to cook in the oven at a low heat for about 13 hours until it literally just falls off the bone. So the very first thing you're going to need, obviously, is water, salt, and a bay leaf. We're going to make a brine, put it in the largest bag that we can find, and let it sit in our fridge for about 3 days. Okay, I'm using the biggest Ziploc I could find. I put my pork butt in there, and here's my brine solution. As you can see, the salt's still at the bottom. It's okay, it's fine. It's going to sit and dissolve for about 2 to 3 days. So now I'm going to pour my brine solution into this bag. We got our brine in our bag with our, it's about an 8-pound pork butt. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Sometimes I put this in the door, just upright like this. I'm actually going to put this one in a trash bag and then put it in the fridge, because I've come to realize that since there is a bone in here, sometimes the bags get ripped. So I'm going to put it in a trash bag and then go put it in the fridge and let it sit for about 3 days. Prepare your rub for your pulled pork. Scoop half a cup of brown sugar packed, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Of course, you can do a little bit less here because cayenne is spicy. 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of ground pepper, and 1 tablespoon of paprika. I used smoked paprika. And then just use a whisk and whisk this up and set it aside for when we're ready to rub our dry rub into our pork butt. Simply just blend everything together. Mix, mix, mix. And then we're going to put it in I put it in a mason jar and just hold on to it until you're ready to rub it into your pork butt. Okay, it's been 3 days. Here's our pork butt. We're going to pull it out. I'm going to dry it off with paper towels, and then we're going to place it in a baking dish. Normally I use a big like turkey pan, but I forgot to go to the store and get one, so we're just going to use a casserole dish. It needs to be at least 3 inches deep because there's going to be a lot of oil come off, and then we're going to rub our pork butt with our spice rub that we made earlier. So here is our pork roast, freshly out of the brine. I'm going to use just paper towel and get all of the moisture off. We're going to dry it thoroughly. I'm going to flip it over, get all the crooks and crannies, and then we're going to coat it in our spice rub. Now we're going to thoroughly coat the pork loin with our spice mixture. I'm using a tablespoon to scoop it out of my jar because I don't want to contaminate the mix, because I like to keep it on hand to add to chicken and other meats. So I'm going to use my hands and rub this spice into all of these nooks and crannies. I'm going to flip it over and do all the sides of it. We have our spice rub in every nook and cranny, all over the whole pork butt. We're going to put it in an oven that's preheated to 225, and we're going to cook this until it has an internal temperature of 200 degrees. It's going to take all day, but it's going to be delicious. I'll update you with exactly how many hours it takes at the end of the day. So, and you want your fat layer on the top. Okay, going into the oven. Okay, I noticed it in the previous video. I actually had it upside down. That's the fat layer. You want it on top because as it melts, it's going to drip through and keep your roast. It's going to be pulled pork, but it's going to keep your roast nice and moist the whole time. So it's in every nook and cranny. It's ready to go in the oven. 225. I'm going to say about 8 to 10 hours. Okay, there it is in our oven. In the middle rack, uncovered. 225 for about 8 to 10 hours, I'm going to say. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay. Our pulled pork butt has been cooking for 12, 13, 14 hours. 200. We're just going to let it sit here for just a little bit. And then we will shred this. See how it's pulling away from the bone? Literally will just flake off and fall off. So be back shortly to show you it all shredded. So here's our pulled pork. Took about 13 hours. As you can see, literally just fell off the bone. I shredded it. That's why I told you not to contaminate your spices. I have plenty left to take. Just sprinkle, massage in. Good to go. Serve it on a bun over some coleslaw. Enjoy, guys.